Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Green Man channel. I hope you're all doing good and well. So, for this eighth episode of the Dark Horse Disc series, we are tackling the seventh studio album from Megadeth and their release, Cryptic Writings, which came out on the 17th of June of 1997. And I'm joined by Dark Horse Disc series regular John, JC Rocker Metal Reviews. How are you doing today?
Hello, doing good.
Doing
Thanks.
all right? Yeah, so basically we did record this just a short while ago, but my laptop seemed to run out of space, so I've just had to free up some space on my laptop to do this collab. Anyway, so what we're going to do is what we have done each episode of this series so far, where we talk about our first experiences with the album, our memories of it, and then why we think the album might be a little bit overlooked in the band's discography, name our three favorite tracks, and then where we think it ranks in the final kind of order of if we were to do a Megadeth ranking. So, John, do you want to kick off with your first memories and impressions of this album?
Yes. So I've been a fan of Megadeth since the late 80s. They were one of the first metal bands I ever got into. And I used to buy their albums all the time, but I think this is the first album that actually didn't buy. It came out in 1997, and I guess I was, doing other stuff at that time. And I didn't go out and buy this one at first. I did remember some of the singles. I remember listening to Trust on metal radio, and I think I've heard The Secret Place. But it wasn't until later, maybe 10 or years ago, kind of like when streaming became more available, and I was kind of going through with the different Megadeth albums. So that was the first time I listened to this album. I thought it was good. It's different, and when we get to our next section, I'll talk more about why I think it's a dark horse album. But it was different, but it does have that same lineup as Rust in Peace and Countdown and Euthanasia with Marty Friedman, Nick Menza, and the two Daves. So that is what's good about this album, and I liked it. From the beginning, I liked it. It's a little more laid back, a little more. Towards it's not as thrashy as as like Rust in Peace, but I enjoyed this album when it first came out, or when I first listened to it. I mean,
Yeah, I like it as well, actually, and I think it's part of the thing with me why it took me a long time to get to Cryptic Writings um, was to do with the artwork on the front cover here, which I didn't find very eye-catching. I think because, as you said, this album was it came out in '97. I didn't get to it probably till quite a bit later. I mean, I'm thinking even like the mid to late 2000s before I listened to this in full. Um, and I think that's a lot to do with the fact that, when I was looking at CDs and going through my first phase discovering Megadeth and buying CDs in the shops and buying their classic albums, I didn't actually sort of find this one as eye-catching. So I think that was part of the reason why I didn't actually buy it and listen to it in full until a fair amount of time later to begin with. But yeah, it's a bit more veering towards commercial sound. I think there's kind of sound a little bit more kind of hard rock than thrash metal by this point in their kind of career. And yeah, I think it's a pretty good album. It's a pretty solid album, and still not incredible, but of that sort of middle era, I think it's actually pretty good. Yeah. So those were my sort of initial thoughts of Cryptic Writings. So, John, do you want to sort of say then why you think this one might be a little bit overlooked by the fans in its kind of discography, and then your three favorite tracks?
okay. I think the reason it's a dark horse disc is because the fans aren't going to give it a chance if it's not as heavy as their other albums. It's not Rust in Peace. It's
Yeah.
not Peace Sells for Who's Buying. It's not that like heavy thrash that the fans want. It's different. It's more like a straightforward hard rock or straightforward heavy metal.
Yeah.
And I think for there are some metal fans. It's like, if it's not super heavy, not like moving at breakneck speed, and the fans are gonna say it sucks.
Yeah,
A lot of metal fans do that. But I think if you give it a chance, it's a really good album. The songs are very good. It has some really nice pacing. Just the songs are very well written and doesn't really have any skippable songs. So I think it's a very good song. So as far as my top three, my number one is going to be Trust. I know that's the main single. That's the obvious one, but it's a song. I just like it a lot. A really great drum beat. I like that like tribal
yeah,
drum beat. I just think it's very good. The breakdown's really good. There's one part Marty Friedman plays like this like classical music piece and it goes right into that breakdown. I always love that part of the song. And one of the songs, it's about relationship issues. When Megadeth writes about this topic, I don't always like it, but I think in this case, they did make it work. So that's my number one. My number two is going to be the other single called A Secret Place, but it's just really good. I really love that guitar riff. It's like a Middle Eastern kind of guitar riff. Kind of almost sounds like maybe like Queensryche, that type of sound.
yep,
And the song just has a really nice groove. It's just very memorable. It's kind of simple, but it's a very good song. And my third one was another one which I think was, I know I'm picking the singles, but these are my favorites. Almost Honest. This one, it's a little more of a rock song, something similar to what they would do on their next album, Risk, which is
yeah,
an album that many people don't like. It's an album I like a lot. I would thought it was a good album, even though it's very different, but I like Risk. But Almost Honest is that's my number three. It's just very catchy. It's a very good song. Those are my
yeah.
three.
I think they picked good choices actually for the singles now, thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Three very good singles.
Mm.
Or well, I think there were actually four. So you had Trust, Almost Honest, A Secret Place, and wasn't there another single as well? I'm imagining that.
I think it might have been She Wolf.
Yeah, maybe. I'm sure people in the
Yeah.
comments will let us know. Yeah, so my three favorites are undoubtedly A Secret Place as well, as you said. I think that's like you say, it's got it's like the Middle Eastern sound on the guitar riff in that one.
Yeah.
Really good accompanying lead guitar work and stuff as well on it. It's just a really pretty awesome, slightly longer track. It's a few minutes that track as well, isn't it? It's a really good one, though. Really like that one. I like Sin a lot, which is a deeper cut.
Yeah.
And I really like that bit when I think Dave sings Deep Inside, I've Seen It Rise. You get that kind of really cool riff as well. That sort of cool groove.
Yeah.
And that sort of always has kind of been a riff that, it's one of those riffs that kind of stays with me whenever I hear it. And I like actually I was saying before, I can't really decide between these two, but I think I'm gonna go with Almost Honest actually. I was trying to decide between Almost Honest and Vortex. And I think the Almost Honest song just about edges out Vortex. So like you, I think we've shared two of the same three favorite tracks. This happened on my collab last weekend, I think. So we matched on two
Yeah.
songs, A Secret Place and Almost Honest. And then I think you had Trust and I've gone for Sin. I probably should go for Trust, right? But I thought I'd go for Sin because I think that's quite a cool deep cut on the album as well. All right, so we move into the final round of the collab for this week, and we're going to now say where we think this one ends up in the Megadeth discography, where we rank it. Noting I have seen JC's ranking already, so I think I already know roughly where he would probably put this one.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly. I think it's somewhere around 8 or 9. It goes somewhere in the middle.
Like that.
It's a really good. It's a good album. I think I had it up above Risk, even though I like Risk a lot, and I have it slightly lower than Euthanasia. Like Euthanasia was a really good album with that same lineup. And of course, their classic albums, Countdown, Rust in Peace, those were like towards
Yeah.
the top, but everyone probably knew that already. So I think it's good. It's the songwriting is very good. There's no skippable songs. I don't think there's anything negative about it. I think it has a style similar to like Super Collider, but it's just like done very well. I think like Super Collider, they were kind of going for that more like more commercial sound, but I think they just didn't have the songs. This one has the songs. Like the songs are memorable. Like other songs that you said, Sin is great, She Wolf is great. These are ones that didn't. Mastermind, I love that one. It's kind of cheesy. It has like about computers taking over. It's one of those. Sometimes the Megadeth writes these songs. They're kind of like cheesy, like sci-fi songs.
Yeah.
There's one line in Mastermind is saying like kneel before the processor. I thought it's kind of cool. It's a fun song. But I think I like everything on this album. Use the Man. That's about drug addiction. So they kind of do different stuff. It's not just like straightforward thrash metal. It's just they're experimenting with like some like different styles and stuff. So that's what I like about this.
Yeah.
So that's my answer.
What do you think about I'll Get Even as well? The song I'll Get Even. Do you like that one?
Yeah. That one's good. It's another one of those like it's more of like an alternative rock song. I think again closer to what they were doing on Risk later on. But it's laid back. It kind of has like a cool. It's kind of like a bouncy type of song. So that's why I like I'll Get Even. Yeah, I like all the songs. I think they're all good. Yeah. I think the ones that are I think like the heavier ones are the ones that are probably like the least, like the Disintegrators. I think that's one that like
Yeah, that
is
one
the
never
most
really
forgettable.
sticks. Yeah, that never really sticks with me, that one. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
you're right on
and
that
that's
one.
probably one of the heavier ones.
Yeah.
Or like She Wolf, that's a good one, but it does have that like cool like gallop in the intro. So
Mm.
I think that one's good, but I think like the melodic songs are the better ones on this album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So in terms of where I would rank this one, I think I would have this maybe ninth or tenth. Maybe ninth or
Yeah.
10th. But as I'm doing a tier list really quite soon on the channel, I'm hoping to get that out this week. So I'm probably not going to reveal where the other albums are. So I'm going to be a bit sort of secret, a bit cryptic, ironically, and not reveal where all the other albums would actually be. All right. So thanks, as always, to John, my guest for this week, for joining me for another episode of Dark Horse Discs. I haven't yet decided what I'm doing for the next episode, so I'm going to have to obviously sort that out before we get too close to next weekend, Sunday. Otherwise, from me, don't forget to drop a subscribe to John JC Rock and Metal Reviews, his channel. He does a lot of reviews, a lot of rankings, as we've been discussing, and some really good coverage of, just rock and metal generally. So do make sure you check out his channel and drop him a sub. Also, don't forget to drop a quick subscribe to my channel as well, if you can spare one. Otherwise, from me and from John, take care till next time. Bye for now.
Yes.